get you, Barbara.
Welcome back to another episode of the Deadlight Society. I'm Michael,
Adam.
and we are finally back with our review of Evil Dead Rise. What do you think?
I enjoyed it. It's fine.
Enjoyed it?
Like, it's not the best Evil Dead movie in the franchise. Like, a lot of people have problems with it. I don't really have that many problems with it, but it's not my favorite.
All right. It's one thing that I've been noticing myself is that a lot of people didn't like this movie. And for me, having no prior knowledge of this series, like I never watched any of the Evil Dead movies before watching this, no shame on me. But like me watching this, I thought it was really good just as like virgin eyes, I guess. I thought it was really good. And it actually made me want to go back and watch the other ones. So, I mean, I give it props for that just alone, you know?
I'm
But,
glad that this was your first Evil Dead movie and you're friends with me. Man who literally
sorry.
has Bruce Campbell's autograph on his wall.
You know, but it's the truth. I'm being truthful to myself. It's my first one. I really enjoyed it though. I did actually go back and then I watched the 2013 version. I watched that one. I really enjoyed that as well. And then the other day I actually watched like the original one and I enjoyed that as well. So like I kind of went backwards, but I liked them. I just got to watch.
The original Evil Dead.
I did. I did not tell you that, but I did.
No, you didn't. What the fuck,
And
dude?
I have to watch the second one, and then I just have to watch the Army of Darkness, and then I'm caught up, right? That's it.
Why the fuck didn't you tell me you watched the original?
Sorry, I don't know. I just watched it.
That's like a fucking big moment.
I did though. I did watch it. I did enjoy it. I think it was like for me, always watching older movies, like comparing them to the newer movies, like I enjoyed it because it was really good, but at the same time, the acting in it just made me like irritated. So like, I give it a pass, but I don't know. He just Ash was just pissing me off a little bit in that movie. I'm not gonna lie.
I think you just like Sam Raimi, and that's what made it pass for you.
Probably. I mean,
Spider-Man loving bitch.
probably. You're probably not wrong, but I mean, that's for another day if we ever get to review that movie. But you know, I like this one.
Review fucking the Spider-Man, Sam Raimi.
Not Spider-Man, you idiot. I meant the original Evil Dead.
Oh, yeah, we're doing Army of Darkness next. We're gonna get there.
He said we're not reviewing Spider-Man. Like, no shit. Yeah, well, I don't know. I figured it's fine.
Maybe we could.
But no, I'm just like, in general, I did enjoy this. I know there's a lot of people who didn't and who thought that there's just like, I don't know. Like I was reading some of the reviews and we'll get to that, but overall, like it has a 6.7 out of 10 on IMDb and 84% on Rotten Tomatoes, 71% on Google, and then like the reviews, the audience rating summary, it's got like 2 and like 3/4 stars. And if you look at like the bars, like a lot of people rated it 5 stars, but then like a little bit more rated it 1 star, and I'm like, that's jank, but whatever. I liked it, but I mean,
gonna have the dissidents.
I know it's my opinion don't mean shit, and I get that, but I enjoyed it. So I feel like if you definitely don't need to know much about the franchise to watch this, because I went into it not knowing a single goddamn thing, and I really enjoyed it. I mean, obviously there's Easter eggs and there's things that you should go back and like you should definitely check out the previous ones, but you don't. It's not a necessary thing. Like it's streaming on HBO Max right now, so like if you wanted to go watch it, go watch it. But also, all the other ones are also streaming on there right now as well, so you could watch all of them. Even Army of Darkness is on HBO Max right now, so.
Don't know that. I'm gonna probably do that this weekend on my weekend off.
I'm assuming they did that because they knew they were releasing Evil Dead Rise on there soon, so they, you know, they're like all on there right now.
Exactly.
So I'm definitely going to be checking out.
I think you still need stars for Ash vs. Evil Dead.
You might, yeah. I don't think I've seen that one on there, but the other ones they're on there. So
Netflix and Tubi for a little bit.
yeah, Yeah, I've definitely seen them floating around before. I should have checked them out, but like I don't know. I watch other shit and forget about it. So, but I'm almost caught up. So I'm proud to
The
say
other
that.
shit
That's for
that you
sure.
watch sucks. When you're
You're
not
not
watching
wrong
horror, you're
necessarily.
watching bullshit.
I'm like almost 90% of the time watching horror though, but some of them are bullshit. Like they're not good, but I don't know.
Dude,
I don't know.
can I out you right now?
Can you out me?
Yeah, I'm gonna out you to the audience right now. This bitch watches so many fucking Disney Channel movies.
Me?
Yes.
Occasionally
You know
I'll
how
throw
many
one on
fucking
like the
times I'm
nostalgia.
talking to you and you're just like, oh, I'm watching this Disney movie or this fucking
Listen,
rom-com from the early 2000s. It's like, dude,
because they're great. Listen, don't shit on a Cinderella story. Don't shit on Mean Girls. Don't shit on the
I'm not gonna
the
shit on Mean
2000s.
Girls
Like,
because Mean Girls is good. Cinderella story, I will. Fuck you.
no, that's a good movie. Like, come on now. But I
Princess
do watch
Diaries
those
is
a lot.
also goated, okay?
Yes, that's what I mean. See, you get some of it, but like I have no shame in that. I don't care. I do watch those occasionally too. But that's like more when I'm looking for like nostalgia. You know what I mean? Like when you just have days where you go home and you're just like, I just want to be a kid again. You know what I mean? Like those are the movies that I normally put on. Sometimes I'll put on like some other stuff, but it's normally like my go-to is a Cinderella story. Not gonna lie, I've said this in like the first episode.
Zombie Island.
I mean, I do that too sometimes. That's what I mean. Like it's the nostalgia effect that I'm searching for sometimes. So I'll just put on some weird shit. I don't know. Like can't help you. I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. But if you've been listening,
the real horror of the podcast is Michael's personal movie choices.
yes, and I own it. I don't care. Listen, like I said, if you've been listening from day one, you already know this. I don't care. No shame. All right, let's backtrack here though a little bit since we're talking shit about me. Let's backtrack. What horror news do we have? Do you have anything that you want to share? I know I had one thing that I had mentioned to you earlier, but do you have any other things?
I forget all of my horror news. The only the biggest thing that happened between episodes is Cormac McCarthy died, the author of like No Country for Old Men, Blood Meridian, shit like that.
Okay.
I don't know, like some people wouldn't consider him horror, but I definitely consider him horror. Like he wrote one of the most horrific books of all fucking. So that is a very sad loss for the horror world and horror literature as a whole.
Okay. So there's that. Only other thing, well, I guess two things now. The only other thing, you sent me the thing the other day about their filming Beetlejuice 2, like in the original town and like stuff like that.
Yeah, dude, that
thought that was interesting.
dope. They're completely rebuilding the original set of
Yeah.
Beetlejuice.
Mm-hmm.
I am
Can't
in
wait.
love already. Me, our boys back.
Yeah,
Started
hell
with
yeah.
Wednesday, ending with Beetlejuice.
Hell yeah. No, wait. No, wait.
No, it's ending with Beetlejuice because I don't trust him after this.
You don't trust him after that?
No, after this, I don't trust him. He's gonna go back to his shit.
Could be. I guess we'll find out, huh? And then the only other thing that I had was that I saw on the horror groups earlier that Stephen King shared I guess a scene or like a behind the scenes of the Welcome to Derry series that's coming. It's just like a picture of one of Pennywise's forms, like on a poster. Like we'll see if we can clip it on here. Not, you can just look up. Yeah, but if not, you could just look it up. But it's just a picture, basically, of the new show that's coming out. Like I said before, Bill Skarsgård is not coming to revive his role, but it seems, at least from the picture that Stephen King showed us, they're not really having him in his clown form anyway. Like since it's a prequel, I guess they're probably focusing on other forms that he's had. I guess that makes sense, but I'm still interested, I suppose. That's it for horror news.
I assume for a good portion we're gonna just have like deadlights kind of floating around.
Could be. It's going to be interesting since our podcast is the Deadlight Society, so maybe we'll have some content to talk about, huh?
Sometimes I hate tying names to things, to properties.
I guess, but it just depends what the outcome is, I
Shit.
suppose.
Well, like, if they taint the name of the Deadlights in this somehow, and everybody's like, well, the Deadlights are fucking stupid. No, it's like, oh.
Guess we gotta change our name.
No, we have this branding.
All right. Yeah, no, I think that's it for horror news. So, unless there's anything else that you wanted to mention really quick, I think we're gonna cut so that we can talk about some spoilers in part 2.
We will
Anything?
see you after the trailer.
Okay. All right. See you after the trailer.
No matter how busy you ever got, you always found time for me. I can't believe I'm never gonna speak to you again.
When I was just a little girl, I asked my mother,
What is this, Danny?
I found it.
what will I be? Will I be pretty? Will I be rich? Here's what she said to me.
And we're back, part 2. We're gonna jump right into this. Well, I guess, but even before we go to like favorite scenes, favorite quotes, anything like that, what's your favorite flop rating? We'll start there.
I'll give it a fear. 7 or 8.
7 or 8. Okay.
Yeah.
I went right with a fear 9 because I really enjoyed it, and like I said, it made me want to go watch the other one. So I felt like that was a plus. So I'll give it a 9 for that.
I feel like a Fear 9 is really pretentious for this movie. No, I'm kidding.
I'm sure. I'm trying. There are reviews that are saying just that. I was reading some of them, and I'm just like you guys are just like you're never happy. You're just never happy. But yeah, no, I give it a 9 for sure. I'd like the 2013 version as well. I think I don't know. I'd have to watch that one again to really give it a solid rating, but I did really like that one as well. I felt like that one was really gory, but I liked it.
I have never sat and watched that movie all in one piece at one time. I've
Really?
only seen it in chunks, yeah.
Okay, well, I recommend watching the whole thing the whole way through. It was good. I like that one too. It's on HBO Max. You can go watch it.
Very true.
But anyway, we'll jump right in. Favorite scene?
When she's chasing everybody all around the fucking hallway, just murking everybody.
Okay, that was funny. I'll give you that. She rips the dude's throat out at one point, and when she bites the guy's eye out and she spits it out, and the other guy chokes on it. I was like, oh, okay, that's interesting.
Now that you've seen the original too, you kind of understand, like,
Yeah.
that's serious.
Yeah. And fun fact, trivia here, that the sound of Ellie biting out a man's eyeball in the hallway is actually an audio recording of Bruce Campbell furiously biting into an apple. Did you know that?
Okay, I did not know that. That's fucking awesome.
Yeah, that's on the that's on the trivia pages, and I saw somebody post that in the horror group the other day too, but I had already seen it on the trivia thing. But yeah, no, he was biting an apple. That's the sound of the crunch.
He did really fucking funny cameos in this one. Like, I know
Well, that's one of them.
Like, he was on the record, like, he was shouting, like, don't fucking touch that book and shit like that.
Yeah. Uh-huh. Yeah. I thought that was so funny when I read that in the trivia, and I was like, no, he didn't. But apparently he did.
Anything but act in movies now.
I guess he'll literally bite into an apple and pretend that it's an eyeball, huh?
Yeah, that's so on brand for him though. Like, I don't put it past him at all. Like, literally, that's just him.
I don't know like too much about him, but I mean, from what I've seen, it seems like that's, especially watching the first one, he seems like he's kind of goofy, so checks out.
He's incredibly self-aware.
Yeah.
Like, he hates people who ask like the same questions to him like over and over and over again, obviously. Like, and he's a huge dick to them specifically, and he can be a dick to be funny, but overall, like, he's incredibly self-aware. Like, he's a genuinely, like, good dude.
Yeah, that's good to know.
So he will
You
put
have-
himself in those stupid scenarios where it's like, yeah, I'm biting an apple for this paycheck.
Is there any quotes in here that you really like or that you remember?
Oh, I don't fucking remember quotes at all.
See, this is what I sent you that outline so that you could fill it out. It's favorite quotes. But what about I think the one that most people know is the "Mommy's with the maggots now." So that one was fucking funny when she said that. "Mommy's with the maggots now,"
I've
or
just seen everybody posting pictures with her.
maggot. Yeah, yeah.
The maggot mommy or
The
something.
maggot mommy. Yeah, I saw that too. She was at a convention or something.
Yeah.
I think my favorite one though was in the very. I actually just in general, I really enjoyed the opening sequence of this movie. Like I don't like everything about it was so dope to me, and one of the quotes comes from there when they're like, girl who gets possessed and she's like, well, who's the brainless meat puppet now? And that's after she like rips the girl's scalp off, and I was like, ooh. I think that's my favorite one.
Oh yeah, this fucking movie is so 0 to 100 like
Oh, yeah.
instantly. There's no
100.
like breathe time. Like it's instantly something's wrong. What the fuck is this?
Yeah.
Oh no, there's
100.
death.
Literally, like that was wild to me. Like I just really liked the opening. I mean, the whole movie was good for me, but the opening was like X level, and I think it was cool that like the opening was actually like technically the end because like the ending
Yeah.
is like the demon getting possessed into that girl that wandered into the garage, and then that girl ends up being the same girl in the beginning who was possessed. So I thought that that was like a cool theme, and I know this is different from all the other Evil Deads because this one's not taking place in like a secluded cabin. And I know people were bitching about that. It's like, oh, it's not Evil Dead. They're not in a cabin. And it's like, all right, but like, is that really what you want every single time for them to be in a cabin?
I
guess
think
if
it
that's, like, the
shows
standard.
Like I think it shows overall like how good the Evil Dead is at being placed in like different scenarios.
Yeah.
And like this still the same story works just as long as it's in a centralized location.
I agree to that. I mean, technically, like the beginning, they were kind of in a cabin, right? Like they were.
Yeah,
I don't know.
and
It
that's
was a
like kind of
cabin.
the thing. And it's like, oh, this isn't the same Evil Dead. Like, yeah, you still get that flavor. Like this, this is the Evil Dead that you know. We're gonna throw you right into the Evil Dead that you know. Never mind, it's not. Like it's a modern kind of take on it.
Yeah, I mean, I appreciated that. I mean, obviously, I wasn't like a super fan of Evil Dead to begin with, so maybe that's why people feel differently than me. But I thought it was like fresh and new.
I won't say super fan, but like big fan of the franchise overall. Like it's still good.
Yeah,
it still does the job.
Yeah, I mean, I think so. So I know my opinion doesn't mean shit half the time because I don't know a lot of franchises or a lot of like background stuff. But I liked it. I did. I gave it a 9 out of 10. So I liked it. You're right. That's what I'm like. Nobody's happy anymore. Everybody has to pick apart everything. So that's kind of where a lot of these opinions are coming from. It's like it doesn't matter what they would have did. They wouldn't be happy anyway. So it's fine. It's fine. Let me see here. Do you have any other like scenes that you really liked that you wanted to bring up, or like
The
things
scene when
like
the
any
fucking, what's that boy's name? Alice.
Annie, her son?
Yeah.
His name's Danny.
Oh, okay. Yeah, when he dies. I fucking hate him.
You're right.
I wanted him to die the entire fucking movie, and when he died, I'm happy.
That was definitely my I have an unlikable characters part on here, and he is on my unlikable characters because like to me when on any of the Evil Dead movies that I've watched so far, anybody who opens the book and starts like they're just immediately the ones that I want to die right away because how are you opening this book? It says it is bound in human flesh and blood and all that, like, and you're just like, oh, neat. Let me look through the pictures and let me play these tapes. Let me see what's on these recordings. Like, bitch, what? just doesn't make sense. Like, I know people are curious, but like in this one, no, never, never. Like this one, and he finds like the when the earthquake happens, and they go down into like the bank vault or whatever, and they find the book, and then they immediately open it, and his sister is even like, I don't think we should be looking at this. Like, you need to put this away. And he just, he's like, she goes away, and he just keeps looking through it, and then puts the records in and starts listening to it, and I'm like, this fucking idiot. Like, God, the most unlikable character for me as well. So his death was gratifying. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. That's the only.
So that's
Those are like the only two that like stand out to me. Like the other ones are all kind of standard Evil Dead stuff to me.
true. I really liked and the sister Bridget became possessed after like getting her face opened by that tattoo gun or whatever, and then like shortly after
Yeah.
she gets possessed, and like she's on top of the counter like eating the glass, and like that part to me was kind of like, I liked that scene, and she's like, oh, I gotta kill the creepy crawlies that are living in my tummy, and I'm just like, oh God.
They did do the glass eating better than they did
Yeah.
in fucking what was it? What was that first movie that we did?
First movie that we did. Oh, Choose or Die.
Yeah. Did the glass eating way better than Choose or Die did.
Yeah, I agree. It was definitely creepy to look at.
And they showed it like going through her neck too.
Yeah, and then going down her throat. I was like, But I appreciated it. I did enjoy that. Even though it made me like a little grossed out. I did enjoy it.
And like in the surround sound in the fucking theater too, it was just like, it was very visceral and just like,
Yes.
this is gnarly as fuck.
100%. Yeah, it was wild. And I just, the acting in general in this movie, I think, is really good, and I give them all props. But I mean, especially Alyssa Sutherland's character, Ellie the mom, like the level of possession that she acted out, like it was great. Like she was a great actress, and this was like a good acting movie for me. Like I really appreciated the effort and the like they just made it look real. You know what I mean? Like obviously it's a movie, and like
She 100% didn't use doubles for all of this fucking movie. So just the physicality that she had to put herself through
Yeah.
this fucking movie, like, yeah.
yeah, 100%. Like she played the role very well. Like it was like creepy to look at, and it was just like, whoa, girl. Like she did well. She did well. Let me see. I also just have some general like trivia stuff here, but there was 1,720 gallons of fake blood that was used for this movie. And I'm sure like most of that was for the elevator scene. That was wild. That was like a whole like Shining-esque, like, yeah, that was crazy. That's a lot of blood.
The whole fucking elevator shaft.
Yeah.
filled.
Yeah, that was crazy. Like filled with blood, and then just opens, and that was a lot of blood. That was a lot. I was like, wow. Like I would not have wanted to be one of the actors that had to like be in there, and like no, that was just too much. I mean, obviously it's
I
not
love
real
how
blood, but
it's-
even so, like
It's always Evil Dead movies that like up the ante with it. I think it was a 2013 one. I saw
Yeah.
this one that was like the most blood ever used in a
Yeah.
film.
literally like there was like, it's like raining blood. Like, yeah, I remember that part, and I was watching it, and I'm like, wow. And I honestly like I watched Evil Dead Rise first, and then I watched the 2013 version like maybe a week or two later, and I did not think that there could be more blood than what they used in Evil Dead Rise, but no way. Like the 2013 Evil Dead, there was like there had to have been so much more. Like I want to look it up and see how much, because like a raining scene and how much blood, I was like, wow. Like I thought Evil Dead Rise was bad. No. That was crazy.
It's impressive. Like,
Yeah.
oh,
It's
just
something.
genuinely impressive.
It's something, that's for sure. Let me see. Another trivia that I have is that Alyssa Sutherland's inspiration for the alternate personality actually came from Jim Carrey's The Mask. I thought was funny.
Really, that's awesome.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, I could definitely see it. but I just thought that was funny when I read that. I was like, really? The Mask? But okay. And also,
My God. Sorry, I just looked up the actual blood count.
was it?
For Evil Dead Rise, the film used 1,717 gallons, like, total.
Okay.
In the ending alone of 2013, Evil Dead, 50,000 gallons.
What the fuck?
With an estimated 20,000 gallons for the rest of the movie.
Holy shit. Yeah.
A little bit more.
Yeah, just a smidge.
Jesus fucking Christ.
Yeah, no, I expected a lot more, but I'm gonna be honest, I didn't expect that much more, but it makes sense.
I mean,
it
I guess
does
I
make
can
sense.
get away with less now because
Yeah. True, but yeah, that's crazy. Holy shit. But no, the last trivia that I have here is just that they shot the film in chronological order. I thought was interesting because like for the longest time, like growing up, I always thought that every movie was shot that way, and then I learned like, oh, they kind of just shoot like random scenes and whatever makes sense for them. So when I saw that this one
yeah,
was
it's
shot in
basically
chronological
like
order,
that's basically like wherever the location
Yeah.
schedule can like be. That's what they shoot the scene at.
yeah. But this one was filmed in order, which I thought was just a interesting little fun fact. So, but that's the last trivia that I have for this movie. I know we've gotten some feedback from people before that said like, oh, like why don't you talk about themes? I don't know if we'll really dive into the theme here, but I think the theme for this movie would be motherhood, just because of the fact that she's a single mother, just recently like getting out of the relationship with the kid's father, and now she's possessed by the demon. And like as soon as she's possessed, like I forget exactly what she says, but I think she says to her sister, she's like don't let them take my babies or something, and then like full possession takes over or something along the lines of that. So I think theme here would be motherhood and like what a mother will do to protect her babies, even though in this movie he then started trying to tear them apart. But
I mean, I think it's part of that, and then you also have the conflicting, like the sister, who's
Yeah.
like, I don't know if she had an abortion or she just keeps losing kids or like what's going on, or she's pregnant now.
Yeah,
And the
she was
dad's not in
pregnant.
the picture. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So you have this woman who's like fighting every fucking maternal instinct that she has.
Yeah.
Well, you have this other one who's like the shining example of like what a single mother should be, who's attacking and like doing the things that the other sister should be doing.
Yeah, so I mean, like I said, I'm not really going to dive into themes here, but somebody just mentioned
We're not
about like,
fucking
mentioning
mothers,
them. But
yeah, like we don't have maternal instincts. We don't fucking know. Sorry.
true. But yeah,
We
that's the
have
theme here.
No authority to talk on any of this shit.
But yeah, no, that's really all that I have. I mean, the only other thing that I want to briefly mention is just the cheese grater scene, because that was gross. And I know that was like the scene that was teased like before I saw it. Like that was a scene that I knew that they had in it, and I was waiting for it the whole time. And then when they finally did it, I was like, ugh. But I remember you after the fact looking at me like after the movie was done, and you're like, that scene wasn't really that bad, and I was like,
And like the grand scheme of things, I think the glass swallowing and so was a lot worse than the cheese grater.
True. I mean, I could agree to that, yeah, because that was like literally like the same scene. She's swallowing the glass, and then like a minute later, she's putting the cheese grater to Beth's leg, and just like ugh, so
The thing
gross.
with the cheese grater too is like that one you can tell is very CGI when it like is going down her leg, so it doesn't look painful.
I mean, true. Yeah, I can see that.
Like it kind of looks like it's just scratching the surface.
Yeah.
And like it just looks like somebody itched her leg a little bit too rough.
True. 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 I guess it was just like the imagining of like somebody putting a cheese grater. Like I could feel it on my leg. If that makes sense. Like it was just like, ugh, so gross. But I mean, I think that's really the only thing that I have. Is there anything else that you want to mention? Anything else at all?
No, not really. It's a standard Evil Dead movie. It even has it has a bunch of references strewn throughout. Like if you're a fan of the franchise already, you'll get them. Michael, you probably know the one, the car now that you've seen and shit.
Yeah, that was actually one of the trivias was that they didn't have the car in this movie, but they deliberately made the chainsaw the same color of the car in this movie. That was like their Easter egg for this one. So I did see that, yeah. Yeah, overall, really good movie. Dope franchise, and have not watched them. I definitely recommend. But I think that's gonna be it for this week's episode.
Will be it.
Yeah, so we'll be back next week with Army of Darkness, and also our new co-host is joining us. Correct?
Should be, yes.
Could be. Okay. All right. So we'll be back. Can't promise it'll be next week or the week following because we kind of just put out episodes whenever right now, but we'll be back. Promise.
Yeah, we've had weird, busy schedules.
Yeah.
Changes and all kinds of.
As always, so it's fine. But we're always back. That's all that matters in the end, right?
Don't forget about you.
Yeah, it's fine. We'll be back. So stay tuned and see you next time.